So I just watched the All-Star game, or should I say games, out here in Los Angeles, and as usual, I have lots and lots of thoughts. First of all, I appreciate the tone that was set by Victor Wembanyama. When I first heard about this new format change, I actually thought, well, if it's a full game between the world and the United States teams, okay, I'm in. I like that, especially if Wemby says he is going to set the tone of extremely competitive from the start. And he did for Team World, but Team World got eliminated before the final of the round robin games. So that didn't really work. It's a round robin of World versus U.S. Stars versus U.S. Stripes, Stars and Stripes. And it ended up Stars and Stripes in the final game. I can't even remember which team was which now, but the Stripes had the OGs, and Kawhi went absolutely berserk in games. Was it 2 and 3? It's just a jumble to me now. But the point was that Kawhi just shot all his fireworks, especially in the third game when he scored 31 and basically in a quarter. And it was sensational. And Steve Ballmer's over there going crazy because it's the only thing he's ever had to cheer for on a national stage, the game being in his building. Reminded me of the great old days when either the East or the West playing in the hometown city of an all-star would say, well, let's try to feed him and make him the MVP of the game, but you have to obviously win the game first. I remember Tom Chambers in Seattle. I was there. Tom Chambers was a really good NBA player, but he wasn't great. And they made sure, because the game was in his home city of Seattle where his team played, that they would make sure he had the ability, he got the opportunity to win MVP, and he did. The point is that I appreciate a tone that Wemby set of competitive edge, and it was followed by Anthony Edwards, who did win MVP, but readily admitted, I can't lie, I can't lie. He kept saying, I can't lie, I can't lie, I can't lie. Okay, well, does that mean you usually lie when you don't say you can't lie? I don't know. But the point is that he said that he was just following the tone set by Victor Wembanyama. So a player from France set the tone in Los Angeles for the United States NBA All-Star game that hadn't been set in a long time. And the OGs who played for the one U.S. team that got in the finals, led by LeBron James, they just hit the wall. Kawhi hit the wall, ran out of gas. Maybe they decided they'd done enough. They'd run hard enough. Kevin Durant hit the wall. LeBron hit the wall. I got it. It was a pleasure. It was a joy. It was an honor. It was a privilege to see those three on the floor to at least start the final and championship game or quarter. I did love that. But I've been doing this for a long time, and two things have happened to All-Star Weekend. It used to be the greatest show on earth for 2 days. 2 days, great show. I can always do without the celebrity game. Don't get it, don't want it, don't care. The Rising Stars game has taken some root where it's gotten some legs to it, but not that into that. But back in the day when I first started, I go all the way back to the late 70s covering all-star games. As we hit 84 was the first time they had the dunk contest. Larry Nance won that one. And it just exploded because all the stars did the dunk contest. And then all the stars, Eastern Conference versus Western Conference, actually played their asses off on Sunday in the All-Star game, and they played for pride and they played for blood. And there were some broken noses, Kobe Bryant, there were some bloody lips. They got after it. Maybe not for the first three quarters. I saw where Kevin Durant had another bizarre ridiculous comment. He went back and watched the first quarters of the last 20 All-Star games, and he said, well, I didn't see what you guys have been saying about how hard they competed. Well, okay, so why didn't you watch the fourth quarters of all those games? I don't know, Kevin. What are you talking about? I'll get into him in a later video, maybe tomorrow, because there's a lot going on there, as you well know. But the point is that the Stars participated in the dunk contest, and then the three-point contest started taking off, and Larry Bird fueled that. Never forget, Larry Bird in Dallas was at 1986. I was there working as the columnist for the Dallas Times-Herald, and a high-ranking Mavericks employee told me that he was in the locker room as they were getting dressed for the three-point shootout. What were there? I don't know, 8, 10, I don't know how many competitors total there were that year, but Larry Bird walked in, and I won't say exactly how he said it, but he used another word that I would never, ever use. But he said, which one of you blanks is going to finish second? Ask them as they were all getting dressed. And they were so in awe of Larry Bird, so afraid of Larry Bird, that nobody said anything, except they just knew they were going to finish second. And that was the one that he held the finger up in the air as he released his final shot from the far corner that swished. Moneyball, swish, ball game, won again. Those were the days where they're going to compete hard in the dunk contest. Everybody, all the stars, the leaping stars, are going to do the dunk contest. All the shooters are going to do the three-point contest. And everybody who made the All-Star team, and obviously is healthy, is going to compete their asses off, Eastern Conference versus Western Conference, in the All-Star game on Sunday. And I was there for many of them, and I loved them because they did. Certainly the defense escalated in the fourth quarter, especially if the game were on the line. But we've lost that. And today we gained back some of it thanks to Victor Wembanyama, and it bodes well, speaks well for the upcoming generation, because maybe Victor has set a new tone. In this new format, at least it brought a little new energy. And the first three games were close to the buzzer, so that was fun to watch, and it escalated the energy and intensity, obviously. And I enjoyed the first three games. Obviously, the championship quarter was a dud. But I have a lot to say about two people. I want to talk about LeBron James, and I want to talk about Anthony Edwards. And they have one similar characteristic so far. I'm going to start with LeBron. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to triple down on this. LeBron James destroyed the dunk contest by not doing the dunk contest. He had so many early opportunities early on, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, in that range, where you got young, fresh legs, you're explosive, you're 6'9", jump out of the gym leaper, power dunker. Just do the dunk contest. And he set the tone for the generations to come. No, we don't do the dunk contest. It is now degenerated into a Mac McClung Memorial G League dunk contest. I know Jackson Hayes did it as the Lakers backup center, but I don't know. It's just hard to watch. Now the showcase event of All-Star Weekend is the three-point shootout, because obviously it's not dangerous. It doesn't take much energy. It takes some. I mean, it does take some, and it's going to take some out of you, but not the energy, the intensity, the toll on your body and your psyche that the dunk contest takes, because that takes a lot of creativity and a lot of effort, and shooting is shooting. And you shoot your shot, and you hope to advance. And it's great. And I love watching it because it goes to the wire, and obviously it went down to the last shot. And I was very happy for Damian Lillard. Dame time. Struck again, came off his Achilles reattachment. And this three-point shootout is not his Achilles heel. It's his strength. And he won again. What was that? Third victory for him. And it was beautiful to watch. Great comeback for him. Obviously not ready to play basketball yet. But he shot a shot. Devin Booker did not shoot his from the far corner, had the shot to win the game, and missed it. But that's the showcase event, because the dunk contest that I used to live for back in the day of Michael Jeffrey Jordan is no longer. Jordan did it 3 times. He lost to Dominique. The human highlight film, the first one, it was close. I was there. It's a lot of objectivity, a lot of judging going on, like figure skating, judging. But he lost, and he came right back and did it again, and he won. And then he beat Dominique head-to-head in the finals the 3rd time. So Jordan won twice. Jordan set the tone with Jumpman logo, meme, launching himself from beyond the free throw line, literally flying through air, flying. Never seen anything like it. I was there. I saw it live. He did it 3 times. And then, we had a series of, Kobe just did it once, but he won it as a kid, 1997, Vince Carter. Dwight Howard still stood up for the big men in 2008 and won it with his cupcake. My wife Ernestine loved that. She still calls him the Cupcake Man. Blake Griffin jumped over the hood of a car, not over the roof, but over the hood of a car in 2011. Zach LaVine's a pretty good NBA player, and he won it back-to-back, 2015, 2016. Donovan Mitchell, to his credit, stepped up and won the dunk contest in 2018. And then we degenerated into Mac McClung, a guy who can't make an NBA team. He can't play NBA basketball at the highest level, can't be a starter in the NBA. He's been a good G Leaguer, was the MVP of the G League, but he dominated the dunk contest 3 straight years, and he was sensational at whatever, he's 5'11", 6 feet tall. But I still, to this day, can't understand why LeBron James didn't do a single dunk contest. And I know why he didn't, but just for the sake of his billions of blind witnesses, just give him one. And he set a generational tone of, I can do without the dunk contest. Well, in LeBron's case, he was the opposite of Jordan. Jordan set the tone for his off the field, for his sneaker brand with that, with winning the 2 dunk contests, while LeBron was afraid he would blow his image if he lost the dunk contest. Well, I kept saying he'll never lose. If he steps on the floor, it's over. He's won it. The judges are all going to give him whatever they're, tens or hundreds, or however you're going to score it. 50s, whatever the top score is, he's going to get them across the board just for participating. And my guy Chris Broussard used to say, well, he's an in-game power dunker. He's not a stunt dunker. He's not a showcase dunker. It just wouldn't have mattered. LeBron is LeBron. Sensational athlete, gymnastic athlete, great body control, ambidextrous, born left-handed, plays both-handed. He would have won. And all he had to do was one, just to set the tone. Okay, for my generation, I'm going to give you my one, my Kobe, and I'm going to win it and walk into the sunset. And somehow that set a negative tone that just reverberated through the years. And I think they're going to have to do away with the dunk contest because nobody will do it anymore. It's like the Pro Bowl in football. Now it's degenerated into this 7-on-7 flag football game that is virtually unwatchable. And I'm a nut. And I watched it just because of my show Arena Gridiron. I knew we'd talk about it the next day, so I had no choice but to watch it. But it's defunct. It's now a thing of the past. It's prehistoric. It outlived itself, in part because the dunkers feel like all the dunks have been done and they can't they can't create beyond what's already been created. They can't jump over the hood of a car. You could jump over the hood of a truck. But my point is, they've jumped over people. We saw that last night. They're just, you can't top this anymore. I get that. And I enjoyed the kids, Keyshawn Johnson. I enjoyed watching their energy, their danceability was great. But it's just not the same if the stars aren't starring, if they're not showing you, because you'll forgive their lack of creativity if they just go do it. But no, it's dangerous, it's this and it's that. And then we did get some bursts in the game that made up for it tonight. But that brings me to Ant-Man. He admitted, he's an honest kid, he's a good kid. And he readily admitted, I don't think he was that into playing, but he saw that he was going to have to match Wembanyama's intensity. He tried to jump ball with him, and obviously it's a joke. And he said, well, the ref needed to bend the toss more toward me and give me a chance, because he's a power leaper also, obviously, but not when he's a foot shorter. Wembanyama is just the all-time freak. And so he's starting to grow up and grow into his competitive edge, which I have not seen consistently. I don't see consistent energy and intensity from Wembanyama, and it makes the Spurs a little vulnerable, because you never know when he's going to show or not show. But he showed for this. And weirdly, Kawhi showed up, and then I joked on Twitter, I hope that doesn't mean Kawhi's going to need a month off to recover from tonight, because that's the way he's gone. But he's as healthy as he's ever been. His knees have been phenomenal, just phenomenal. And it hurts my heart and soul to watch what the Clippers are not. And just when I thought they were on a roll, they get rid of James Harden just because he's just a loser. And they know it. They'd seen this movie before. They saw it last year, Denver Game 7, and they just said, well, that's enough. He wants money. He wants out. Cleveland says, okay, we'll pay him because maybe he's the missing piece to our puzzle. It's a pick and roller, a lob dunker for our two big guys energized again. But Ant-Man responded to Wemby, and here he came. And he did win MVP, and he made a bunch of nice three-point shots. They were pretty open. They weren't that contested. And he played harder and harder and harder once he smelled blood. And I think he started to smell MVP, and it's like, okay, I got this. But from him, as I've always said about LeBron, I need to see more at the end of games, because certainly the last 2 years, man, he's really struggled against Dallas in the conference finals, struggled against Oklahoma City last year. Too many fourth quarters where he just disappears for the whole fourth quarter. At least LeBron can usually give you about 10 good minutes of a fourth quarter and then disappear. But Ant-Man just turns into Can't-Man in fourth quarters. Even that Christmas night game, did anybody but me stay up to watch it? I was watching, and they're in command, and suddenly Ant-Man goes Can't-Man and just completely disappeared. Then he got frustrated. Then he got ejected. It was just awful. They should have won the game, and Denver did. And tonight, All-Star game, sort of this afternoon out here in L.A., Anthony Edwards saw his opening. He knows he wants to be great. He wants to be known as the best player. He keeps talking about how he could beat Jordan in a one-on-one game. It's just so wrong and so laughable. It's just like LeBron. Jordan would destroy both of them psychologically first, just with his trash talk, and back it up. He would tell both of them exactly what he was about to do to them, and then he would do it, and it would just psychologically destroy both of them. He would wreck their psyches as well as their ability to actually compete one-on-one. No, sorry. Can't do that, Anthony. But you got huge ability, and you do make some clutch shots in moments, but not for full fourth quarters. I just don't see it. I haven't seen it enough. And tell me I'm wrong about this. Go look back at the last 2 years in the series they lost. Just go back and look at what happened in the fourth quarters of the series they lost. He's even talked about it himself. I just didn't show up. Okay? There you go. Bingo. And yet tonight, it's meaningless games. It's a weird new round-robin format. And he's like, ooh, I think I got a shot here. Because players aren't playing that hard. They're playing harder because of the duration. These are shorter games. So it's like each game's a fourth quarter in effect. That works. But he sees the advantage. And once Wemby's team lost the first game, and it wasn't Ant-Man who hit the last shot. It's Mr. New Toronto, the new Kawhi in Toronto hit the last shot. And yet, I can't argue with them winning MVP because over the duration of the games, he was the best player on the floor. Way to go. So we had some improvement in All-Star Weekend, except for the dunk contest, which was laughably bad and embarrassing and beneath the dignity of the National Basketball Association. LeBron left it in his dust. That's what happened. You know it, and I know it. And to conclude, the reason LeBron wouldn't do it was he was afraid he'd lose, and he's never been comfortable in the solo spotlight. He just wasn't born with a clutch gene. Great player on durability, is a great ability, longevity. He's the ultimate longevity player in the history of sports. No one's done this at this level. He looked good tonight in spurts. Lousy shooter, lousy free throw shooter, but all-time leading scorer. No clutch gene. He was afraid he'd get out there in the dunk contest and seize up, get shaky-fingered, and blow a dunk or two and lose it. And he felt like that would wreck his image as a power dunker. And I just think even if he blew it, they'd anoint him. But that ship sailed a long time ago, and we're left in its wake right now with no dunk contest. And I'm just wondering at what point the NBA will just say, you know what, that's enough. Heck, I enjoyed the shooting stars competition with the celebrity passers. I don't know. At least it's kind of basketball-y. It's kind of watching guys shoot, and then they're all flinging, deep threes to try to win it. Jalen Brunson's team won it after he said he wasn't having a good time, didn't want to have to play with his father. I don't know what he's needling his father like he doesn't really like his father. I don't know what he was doing. It's a weird moment, but they won with him as the celebrity passer, the father. I don't know. In the end, give me the three-point shooting contest. I'll watch the shooting stars, and I'm still not convinced this is the right format for the All-Star game. Maybe you want to go, I know maybe there are not enough world players to fill out the team, but maybe you let them have some extras, some bench depth, and you actually do a four-quarter game of U.S. versus world. Maybe that's the way to fly. Maybe that would... This is so hit and miss, and my emotions are mixed, and then who am I rooting for? Whose team is this? Well, what? And I wind up with two U.S. teams, and I'm like, okay, I guess I got the OGs versus the kids, kind of. Okay, I'll try that when it's a dud. I don't know. Maybe none of this really matters, but it does to me. I'm just a long-time basketball nut, and I want these guys to go to All-Star Weekend to give back to us, to show us, to display their greatness in every way, shape, and form. That's what I ask, out of pride, not out of what their agents are telling them. Oh, you got to protect. You can't get hurt in the All-Star game. You can't drain yourself in the All-Star game. I miss the good old days because I was there for all the good old days.